Hello, I'm Jill Marie, founder of SVH and Serenity Ministries, and it's my privilege to pass on to you a priceless, step-by-step manifestation formula that you can use to lay the foundation for the development and the formation of any life reality that you're consciously choosing and that you desire to create. In this segment, I'm going to show you how to change your mind so you can step away from old paradigm belief systems and patterns that have, in the past, fueled the attraction of experiences and realities that you'd prefer to maybe leave in the past than not have recur in the present and future. I'm a big fan of leaving the negative and limiting past in the past, so we can create our now realities in a new space of clarity that isn't clouded by those old events and perceptions of the past that were not helpful back then, and they most surely are not something that we want stirring around in the pot of the new realities that we're choosing today. I'm going to illustrate the way we've been creating everything that exists in our life, and then I'm going to guide you into a new path that supports a higher level of sovereignty and personal empowerment that in itself paves the way for you to create from a higher vibrational template. And from that mindset, I'm going to show you how to change your mind and redirect the focus to only create the things that you really, truly desire to formulate into your life. Kind of a Manifestation 101 course in under an hour. Now, in addition to the steps and stages of mindful manifesting that you receive in this segment of Change Your Mind, I'm going to offer you 3 months of free mentoring through several different programs that we have available. These gift offerings are going to help you to take what you learn today and expand on it so you can lock the principles of mindful manifesting into every aspect of your life. So let's get started. And I'll tell you how to access this gift program later in the segment. There are plenty of people that are ready to tell you what's wrong with your life and what's wrong with the world, but very few of them have solutions. However, today I'm going to share with you the why. So why things you want to have happen sometimes don't, and then I'm going to show you the how. How to change those patterns that have been keeping willing people that are ready for change stuck in the same old cycles. We have the tools, we have the know-how, and today you're going to receive that how. And that how is to change your mind. You know, it really can't be said enough that the most powerful tool at our disposal is the mind. Your thoughts ignite and direct the formation of every reality that you experience. So what we're going to do today is to help you to strengthen your ability to focus your mind so you can easily create the life that you really, truly desire. To achieve this and give you a head start on the paths of surety and clarity, I'm going to give you some important background information that will help you to recognize when you're sabotaging your own success and help you to immediately identify when you are being sabotaged. And you're also going to receive a set of tools that will introduce you to the most graceful, powerful energy directing modality on the planet. And this will set the stage for your emancipation from those old patterns that have been held in generations of human bondage, developing all kinds of areas of blocks that keep us from expanding on our innate abilities and reaching the pinnacles of our true potential to create exactly what we desire anytime we desire it. Now, those tools and your ability to direct them with maximum efficiency at the onset are an introduction to SVH, which is a priceless opportunity really for you to sample and adopt a priceless piece of empowerment software that's capable of gracefully rewriting limiting beliefs and perceptions in an instant. Now, these tools seamlessly reform the seeds and foundations of old patterns in the past and in the present, and can even set mechanisms in motion to identify similar issues in the future and then just swiftly deal with them. It really is time. It's time for you to step into your full potential. And today, we're paving the way for exactly that. So let's begin with some foundational truths. Everything that happens and all of the possibilities that can happen first occur in the mind. That's the gestation space, you might say. Now, some realities manifest instantly and others cook a bit, like a marshmallow on the end of a stick hanging over a campfire. Now, as somebody that went camping every year of my life when I was growing up, if I overcooked my marshmallow, I'd probably eat it anyway if it wasn't too burned, or I'd flick it into the bushes. And, I didn't mourn the loss of the marshmallow that I threw away, because there were plenty more opportunities to cook another. And I didn't mourn the time that I spent cooking it over the fire either. I just got another marshmallow and started over. This time, maybe holding my stick a little further away from the hot coals so I could cook it to golden brown instead of that black, charred look. On a grander scale, this is what we've been doing our whole life. We've been living and creating all of the experiences that are part of our reality, and if along the way we don't prefer the way something turns out, we make a choice. We deal with it. We deal with what we've got, and then we figure out how to fix the problem, or we start over and we do things a little bit different the next time. But either way, we're changing our mind. We ponder what it is that made it so that the events played out the way they did, and we use our intellect to redefine what would have been and what would have made and what can now turn the situation into a higher ideal. And in that understanding, we begin to form the pathways that lead to our creation of that newer, higher form of experience that we're choosing. You see, the most constructive thing that we can do in situations like this are to stay focused on the present. We figure out why, and then we turn our focus to how. And as soon as we understand what took our path of experience into a direction that didn't match the ideal of what we really desired, the most important thing to do is to release our focus on that lesser past experience. Release what woulda, coulda, shoulda been, and learn from our experiences, from our understanding of what didn't meet the mark of what we were choosing. And then we refocus on the present, always looking at the now and the pathways ahead that lead to our ultimate goal. Learning from the past limiting experiences helps us to make sure we don't recreate them. And when we apply our knowledge of how to reform the previous steps to match our ideal, we experience a perfectly cooked marshmallow, or whatever it is that desire of our heart is focusing on. There are millions of factors that can fuel simple and complex manifestation formulas, but the rules that govern the formation of realities are really, really simple. One of the most important rules of forming is that all you put into the recipe of what you are choosing and you desire for the experience is fueled into forming based on the resonance of the energy directed into the formula. So the most important thing for you to master is the resonance of the energy you unwaveringly input into the formula, right? So let's start there, and then we'll circle around to cover internal and external conflicts that can input into your formulas. And then we'll put the cherry on the top of your manifestation with an SVH hyperdrive mechanism that you can consciously use to clear away and to clear the way for your formulas to gestate and form to match the ideal scenarios possible for every reality that you're choosing to create. So let's start with the resonance of the energy that you direct into your manifestation recipes and that you're directing to fuel them into forming your reality. The resonance of the energy that fuels your life experiences comes from your thoughts, from your words and your actions. And, of course, that's hardly new information. But it's important because it exemplifies the importance of your central role in the forming of your life story. Now, I think the first step in changing your life in any way is to take full responsibility for that change, to accept that you played a major role in the creating of the life that you're living right now, and then decide that it's okay to change your mind. You can have a different life. You can make new choices. And when you claim your life as yours to define, it disengages or disconnects millions and millions of threads of collective consciousness beliefs that are centered around cause and effect that have led most of humanity to believe that it's stuck in whatever role it was born into. Now, I can see how the collective beliefs were set so firmly in place about that, but because hundreds of generations of our ancestors living in survival mode for the whole of their lives, running on a treadmill of existing from birth to death would affect anyone. It would carry that story on forward. And on life's treadmill, the destination is a continuation of the same view, as you know, and until you wake up and you realize that the only changes that can truly ever happen begin when you step off the treadmill, or in this case, step off the paths that no longer serve you. Now I'm referring to your ancestors, not you, because you're wide awake, you're ready to claim your destiny, and you would not be listening to this conference if you weren't. Now you're open to new tools. We know that. To new thoughts and new visions that you can adopt or integrate into the many flavors of what you're already using to fuel your forward momentum. And you will not be disappointed today. You will walk away from this class with a magic wand in your hand and a set of tools that you can work with. And to that end, it has to be said that for any manifestation and system really to work on planet Earth, you need to know what it is that you're choosing to create and then consciously fuel those visions into reality. You feed them with higher food for thought, food that fuels and sustains a resonance of energy that matches exactly what you're focusing and creating on. So the idea is to only fuel the realities you really are choosing. So if you don't like how something is playing out, its role in your life, but feel powerless to change it, then you have basically, in that moment, sealed it into being in your life just for a while longer, not forever. Just until you let it go. You see? If you continue to hold the vision of whatever this issue is as an impassable fortress, an unchangeable fact, then you do seal it into being for your life. In fact, and the fact is that when you change your mind, when you are choosing to focus on and consciously fuel something different than your current status of life, even if that higher focus seems impossible with the current state of your bank account and mindset about what you can and can't do, the new thought holds a place open for the changes to be seeded. And once seeded, your continued focus of light food for thought fuels every little and grand possibility that ripples out to feed and to fuel the change, to fertilize those little seedlings of hope and desires. And as these little saplings grow and get stronger, the foundations of your new mindset begin to build and grow and catch on the ripples of change that other people have been able to achieve. Because remember, if someone else has done it, you can too. And before you know it, the impossible is possible. And the desires of your heart are manifesting all around you. And you just keep fueling and focusing on that, helping to build its momentum. And you don't have to be the pioneer that reaches the highest peak before everyone else. You can catch on the wave of everybody else's success by accepting that you can. But it all begins with you imagining, with you seeing and even pretending to see the possibility as possible. And then one day, you will find that you are in the lead. You're the leader of the pack. You're the one creating and focusing and manifesting and making dreams come true that maybe other people believe are impossible. And this all starts with you changing your mind. Changing your mind to allow the transformations to begin and to continue to build and grow. And even if there's no hope of changing your life, there is hope because you can plant those seeds of hope. And your desire will open up doors that you never knew existed. Waiting for someone to save you, or maybe someone to fix the smallest or even biggest of issues in your life, is like sitting in a boat that's sinking and not even trying to paddle to shore. You've got to take the paddle. You've got to take your hand and put it on the rudder of your life. You're a manifester. You're a powerful one. Look at what you've created and experienced in your life so far. Whether you like it or not, you created it. So you can create. Everything in your life exists because you fueled it into being. So take a moment to assess the story of your life and see what you've created. Is it good? Is it not so good? Or somewhere in the middle? I'm only asking you to look for a reference point. Because if you don't like the way your life looks, look to the past where it was fueled and formed into being. And then switch around and look to the present and see why it is the way it is now. Look, learn, and then refocus. Refocus on the present and start imagining what is possible. And even if it seems impossible, start planting those seeds. Your life story was written into being by your conscious and unconscious minds. You can change it. Now, I'm not saying you consciously created disasters and some of the less than favorable events and realities that you've experienced, but you have had your pen, that pen in your hand, that almighty pen that wrote into the pages of your life story, even in childhood, when your mentors and teachers and guardians were the overseers and co-creators of your reality, and maybe they had a stronger hold on that pen. But you're grown up now, and that almighty pen is in your hand, and the pages of the book of your life are just laid open, waiting for you to use your mind to scribe into them. And the life realities that you would love to experience are waiting to happen. Now, there have been many collaborators and co-creators in your life. These individuals can constructively assist you, and you them. But the best way for that to happen is for you to define within yourself what it is that you truly desire, what the outcome of the collaboration might look like. Because this awareness helps you to set boundaries that foundationally support you and those individuals that are choosing to collaborate with you. So when you know what you stand for and what you truly desire of life, it helps everyone. It helps everyone to set their own boundaries and to maintain your boundaries. Otherwise, the strongest partner in the collaboration is the only one holding the rudder. And if you're not that person, then someone else is defining some aspects of the direction of your life story. And that's not good. It's very common and even expected for us to be in collaboration with others, co-creating with individuals that are part of our social structure, our friends, our bosses, mentors, so those that have made life commitments or life partnerships with us and us with them. And yet it's really important that anyone that you desire to share your almighty pen with, even minimally, be worthy of that honor. That this really isn't the olden days when a matriarch or patriarch of the family, the church or village leaders are telling you how it's going to be. You're a sovereign being that's endowed with the privilege of being a creator, the creator of your reality. And you are co-creating with all the other beings on this world, including the world itself. So it's important for you to know what it is that you're choosing to create. And then make sure that all of the collaborators in your life are on the same page with what you're choosing to create for your life. So how do you put them onto that page? You do it with your words, your thoughts, your actions, and your confident leadership of your life. A life where your hand is always on the rudder of the boat that's flowing to the experiences that you are purposefully defining and that you are choosing to create and co-creating, of course, with others. What you do is you share the rudder and your almighty pen, but you never relinquish either of these privileges fully. And don't be a pushover. Don't be a pushover in any aspect of your life. Be a graceful leader of your life. And if you're not proud of the choices you made in the past, turn your head forward. Change your mind. Create a present and a future that you are proud of. Learn from your experiences, and then leave them in the past. Leave the past in the past. And remember, at any time you hand the almighty pen that scribes into your book of your life over to someone else, you're sabotaging yourself. You're handing over your authority to define and basically let them define for you. And many times at will, which opens to a collaboration mix, can be either fruitful or damaging. And yet, as a sovereign being, you are the one endowed with the privilege of choosing how the realities of your life play out. You hold the pen, and your mind is the scribe. And the more clarity you achieve, your inner guidance will show you those that will honor the privilege of sharing your pen and your life's rudder. Co-creating can be one of the greatest joys of life when you've joined focus in a constructive and supporting manner that supports the ideal of each individual, and all parties are honored. There are always ideal scenarios that honor all parties in every life collaboration. That if you don't have that ideal scenario in place, if individuals don't firmly have their hand on the rudder with you, then victim energy can be shifted into the mix. And we don't want to be a part of that. Sitting in a boat with someone else's hand on the rudder, defining the direction of your life experiences, or you holding the hand on the rudder of other people's lives without their hands also in place there, influences the resonance of the energy directed into the formulas of your life choices. See, for co-creating and for co-creations to masterfully support the focus of each individual, all hands of those choosing to collaborate must be on the rudder. And in that unity, the resonance of the energy directed into the formula of those life choices evolve within a clear, focused field of forming. Whether you're directing a solo enterprise or have a whole town co-creating along with you, two of the most important stages in manifestation are focus and fuel. So only throw gasoline on a woodpile of realities that you want to ignite to burn hotter, and your thoughts are as good as gasoline. So if you're choosing to manifest a new home or a new car or just something simple like having your monthly bills paid or maybe an extravagant trip to Paris, the key element in forming a reality into being is to unwaveringly maintain your focus on the surety that this reality you are desiring is possible. This surety essentially pours gasoline on the manifestation fires. And periodic intervals where your thoughts and actions might reflect maybe a loss of momentum or loss of hope or loss of believing that your dream can happen. That's like pouring a bucket of water on whatever stage your fire is burning at. So no matter whether your dream really is burning as flames, hot embers, or coals when you're manifesting, you never let yourself lose hope or focus. You fan the coals, you feed the fire, you keep holding the vision of the most ideal outcome possible, because that's how you open up the floodgates of creation energy and keep it flowing. If you're not fully vested in the reality that you're choosing to create, or your mind is not made up about whether you believe that you can achieve your goal or that you even deserve it, you may be throwing both gasoline and water into the manifestation fires, trying to make it happen rather than let it happen. Now, the easiest way to mainstream your manifestations, to form exactly as you desire, and to elevate your life experience to one of ease, grace, harmony, vitality, prosperity, is to only pour gasoline on the fires of what you're creating. Only fuel realities that you really want. And that means not letting even one drop of energy that you don't want to enter the manifestation recipes of what you're choosing. Sometimes we want, wish, desire, and aspire for things that we can easily achieve. And sometimes we can hold a vision out for something that requires a big miracle or maybe a lot of people to change their minds in order for your reality to slide into home plate. Um, but it's good to hold out for those visions anyway, even if they are a long shot, because whether it's an easy make or a long shot, it's counterproductive. It wastes your time to throw wet fuel or water onto a manifestation fire at any point in the forming stages. So, unwavering focus and surety, no matter what the creation elements look like midway, keeps the fires burning. And it also keeps the pathways active that open up the possibilities for your manifestation to form in the best way possible, including creating a miracle. Now that's what the manifestation tool you received today is going to help you to do. It's going to be helping you to make miracles happen, as well as things that are absolutely possible with just some focus and clarity. This new tool that you're going to receive, the 2 trigger processes that you're going to get, are going to hold the floodgates open and help you to release deep-seated genetic and current life beliefs and perceptions that might surface throughout your manifestation process to throw water onto your manifestation fires. Now this tool is going to be a means for you to speed up the process of creating the ideal realities that you're choosing by assisting your creation-forming elements to shift from thought into form, and do it on the fastest track available. Now my father and my grandfather, actually both of my grandfathers, worked for the Union Pacific Railroad, and my grandfathers both were engineers on steam engines. Now, if you think about an old-fashioned steam engine, they moved forward because the wood burning in the hopper heated the water to make the steam that made it possible for the pistons and gears to turn the wheels and drive the train forward. Now, if the fire wasn't hot enough, the train moved slower or it stopped. So the hotter the fire, the more sustained the heat of focus and thrust, and the swifter the train could travel. Now, like that train, the pace and the speed of forming a thought into an actual reality is directly proportional to the fuel fed into the forming elements. The hotter the fire, the more sustained the heat of focus and thrust, the quicker your desires become a reality. You can take a lifetime to get from point A to point B in reaching your goals, or you can fly down the track in the most direct manner possible by focusing your fire, focusing your steam to fuel the visions of your ideal realities into formation. So now is when I get to show you how to change your mind and hand you that miracle maker, that magic wand that you can use to hyperfuel your manifestations. And it'll also help to put a paddle in your hand so you can steer a sturdy or even leaky boat to shore. Because this set of tools that you're about to receive will even amend a faulty manifestation to help you to bring about the most ideal outcome. And you're going to love the ease and simplicity of these trigger process tools. I want you to know that these tools are not something that are meant to negate the importance of your choosing and mastering your mind and the ability to focus positive and constructive thoughts into the manifestation formulas that you are creating. But they are a bit of a magic wand, like a guardian angel on your shoulder, amending negative or limiting thoughts that could throw water on your manifestations. Also, these processes that you receive today are going to assist you to unearth countless deep genetic imprints of limiting beliefs and preconceived cause and effect principles that have the potential to limit your ability to create the reality of your dreams. You can use this formula to create anything that you desire, although it will not use manipulation to help you make that happen. Not that you would be even going there in your mind. But it does fuel the ideal realities. And what I find to be the most delightful about this system is that the ideal reality that comes into forming for you is many times more to your liking than what you originally defined in your manifestation formula. So I guess the key to this system is really to get out of the way and let it work for you. And while it is working for you, it is important for you to embrace the true potential that you possess and always have possessed. And that is to create. You can create What you are choosing now from the higher point of clarity is to create in focus clarity in a manner that allows you to be consciously aware of exactly what it is that you are choosing to form into your reality. In a few moments, I'm going to direct you to view an authorization screen that's part of the SVH sovereignty principles that honor your divine right to choose. And in that authorization procedure, you're going to be asking the Creator, if it's in divine alignment, to have the Creator activate and implement these two trigger processes that you're going to be receiving. All applications employed in SVH modality are implemented by the higher consciousness and soul and the Creator. And once we've activated the two trigger processes, knowing and I am that, you're going to be able to start playing with them. Now, the shining star that I spoke of at the beginning of the segment is an SVH reformatting tool called quantum level reprogramming. We're going to use it today to unearth the seeds and foundations of many of the deeply embedded genetic belief systems that have, or possibly could in the future, limit your ability to design, define, and form foundations that will help you to swiftly manifest realities that you are consciously choosing. The next brightest star in the toolbox are the trigger processes that we activate by thinking a specific trigger word or words associated with the process. When one of these trigger processes is activated, a full spectrum of analysis of the present situation is employed. And then a multi-phase mechanism within the preset parameters of the process initiates a set of rescripting directives to reformat unbalanced perspectives and perceptions and beliefs and genetic formatting that is associated with the issue at hand. These trigger processes dive in and clear away the blocks to you achieving what it is that you're choosing to achieve in the moment. It also helps us to release whatever is limiting us from reaching clarity and focus. That's what a trigger process typically does. It's an intervention. Well, today we're going to be using two trigger processes that will assist you to hyper-focus creation energy that is directly linked to ideal scenarios that you're choosing as a part of your manifestation formula. The two trigger processes we're going to use to lock in the ideal scenarios associated with whatever it is that you're choosing in the moment are knowing and I am that. So please write those down. Knowing and I am that. Knowing is a trigger process that once initiated by your thought to activate it, triggers your conscious mind with your constructive mind and the master intellect. It links the three of them. That's step one. Now in step two, you outline the plan of what you desire to have manifested in your life. And in step three, you activate the trigger process, I am that. And that hyperfuels the ideal scenario into forming. Now let me give you a little background on the conscious mind, constructive mind, and master intellect before we go further, because that'll help you to understand how this process works. Your conscious mind is your reasoning mind. It's the part of your brain that ponders whether you want to have potato chips or french fries with your sandwich, or whether to turn right or left in traffic. Your constructive mind, that one is a computerized system that's constantly sifting through related data that's associated with your present and future. Now this is part of your makeup. It's part of who you are. And this program, this computer program, disseminates related information associated with every potential reality that you might come across, with relationship, let's say, to the current stimulus of what's happening in your life, and how it relates with everything that potentially could affect your present and future, based on, again, whatever possibilities may or may not be present in what's happening right now. So this helps you to make a choice about what to do in the present and the future. Now, 99.9% of these prospective scenarios never occur in your life. The constructive mind's data mining is just getting these scenarios and putting them forward, because it identifies highly likely occurrences that might be present within what's going on in your life, and then it can offer you pertinent information about the scenarios. It offers them to your conscious mind in a silent, seamless manner that your conscious mind and your subconscious mind pick up on. And then you use those scenarios to assist you in your decision-making process. Last but not least is the master intellect, and that's the voice of your higher consciousness. And your higher consciousness is the incorruptible part of you that knows your purpose. It's supporting you through its constant unity with your soul. When your ideal scenario method is being employed, these three, this triad of conscious mind, constructive mind, and master intellect is brought into direct involvement with one another. And it helps you to identify from millions of scenarios what the most ideal scenario will be that will support what you're choosing. Because in this simple exercise of the ideal scenario that you're going to be employing here in a few moments, you will only be fueling those ideal scenarios. Now I'm ready to guide you through the authorization procedure that activates those two trigger processes for you, and then we're going to start using them. So if you'll just close your eyes and imagine that a big movie screen is floating before you. On that screen are the two SVH trigger processes that we're going to use in the ideal scenario method. Silently, ask the Creator if it is in the highest alignment to have the Creator implement all of the parameters that the Creator and your higher consciousness and soul will be applying, along with your master team, each time you utilize the ideal scenario method. Now take a moment just to see, sense, feel, or hear an affirmative answer from the Creator. And when you receive that confirmation, simply think the word yes, and your trigger processes are immediately active and ready for us to begin. So I'll leave you a couple of seconds just to get your yes. And now we're ready to start. Your triad of the conscious mind, the constructive mind, the master intellect are going to help you select 1, 2, or 3 ideal scenario possibilities. These sequences that will make it possible for you to swiftly achieve your goal. And then you'll seal your deal by activating the trigger process, I am that. I am that is a trigger process that really is second to none, because these 3 words spoken together, I am that, are already the 3 most powerful creation-forming words in the world. The second you think the trigger words, I am that, followed by the first 2 steps in this manifestation formula, the master intellect is going to work with your higher consciousness and soul to unleash a torrent of creation energy to fuel the formation of the ideal scenarios that have been selected for you by the master intellect and the constructive mind. Now, in addition to this sequence, your higher consciousness and soul are going to work together with the Creator to identify and reformat the seeds and foundations of barriers and blocks that are seeded into your current life belief systems and your deep genetics. They're going to clear the pathway, just clear it away, all that has the potential to limit your ability to create this magnificent ideal scenario. Angels, masters of light, they're also going to support and assist you throughout the developmental stages of forming your ideal scenarios. And all those human beings that assist you both consciously and unconsciously throughout the procedure of putting all of these pieces together through the assistance of their soul working with your soul, your angels working with their angels, whatever they're going to do to help move mountains, to help you get what you want, these individuals are going to receive a gift from the Creator. Let's call it divine remuneration through a never-ending bank of creation energy that is going to identify and assist to fuel ideal scenarios that these individuals are choosing for themselves. Now, they won't be using the same ideal scenarios program as you are, the system, But they have ideal scenarios in their life that they're fueling, and the Creator knows what those are and is going to assist those people who help you to get some help to meet the ideal of reaching their goals. Now that really takes the saying, what goes around comes around, to a whole new flavor, because it means when someone helps you, they get helped. This ideal scenarios method and the procedures within it take only seconds to complete. So get ready to make some magic. People all over the world have adopted this system and use it 20 and 30 times a day or more. In fact, why wouldn't you? And you're going to find out that it works so well that it's going to become a part of your life. So here it is, step by step. Step 1. Think the SVH trigger word, knowing. Step 2. Direct a dialogue with the triad, like this. I choose the ideal scenario for. Write that down. I choose the ideal scenario for. And then you just fill in the blank. Step 3. Think the trigger words, I am that. Do you see how simple this is? And yet the simplicity of it is the most delightful part about the system. All you need to do is think knowing, followed by I choose the ideal scenario for this shopping excursion, that I'll be able to find exactly what I'm looking for at the most ideal price. I am that. And it's as simple as that. So let's do one together with the topic of abundance. So think the trigger word, knowing, and now mentally follow with, I choose the ideal scenario that'll span over the next 7 days, assisting me to fuel and support the attraction of an abundance of health, vitality, and extra funds to support. Now fill in the blank. And then think the trigger word, I am that. You can make your directive expansion as simple as you like. And you can use this ideal scenarios for so many different things, for helping you to make up your mind, for getting clarity about things. Now here's an example. The Egyptologist tour director I work for our group journeys, suggested that we take one more trip into Egypt to anchor some energy for peace and healing for the land and the people and the antiquities. Now, knowing that we're safe no matter where we travel, I'm not concerned about the unrest in Egypt as much as, I desire that if this is going to be our final journey into Egypt as a group, that it be spectacular, something different. So before making my decision, I did the ideal scenario. I thought the trigger word, knowing, followed by these words. I choose the ideal scenario for the journey to Egypt, that if it's going to happen, that everything within this journey unfolds so masterfully that it's marked in my memory forever as the most spectacular journey of my life. And then I thought the trigger words, I am that. And then I left it alone, which is what we're meant to do. Manifestation 101 says, choose what you want. Fuel it with your thoughts and words and your actions, and let it happen by expecting it, and of course, never refuting the possibility of it forming into your reality. Now, a few days later, our tour director contacted me to let me know that somehow or another it's possible for us to rent the steamer ship that was owned by the former king of Egypt, King Farouk. He went on to say that it wouldn't be a 4-day cruise, but a 12-day cruise down the Nile. Now that would be a dream come true for me. Unpack the luggage once, 3 fabulous meals a day all included, and float down the Nile, seeing sights, by the way, that we've never seen before on our previous journeys. So to me, this was, my gosh, this was the answer. The ideal scenarios unfolded before me as possibilities so that I could then make my choice and, of course, do another ideal, knowing the ideal scenario, that everything will help us manifest and unfold this incredible journey down the Nile, floating in the King's steamer ship for the 12-day cruise, seeing all these incredible places with the most safety, security, and magnificent experiences of my life. I am that. Now that, my friend, is an ideal scenario, and by far a bigger and better scenario than I had imagined. So the thing to remember is, when you're manifesting, use the ideal scenario method and get out of your own way and let the ideal scenarios unfold as they will. Millions and billions of orbs of creation energy are fueling your scenarios, and quantum level reprogramming and all the other sequences that are part of these trigger processes fuel and support and assist you to manifest the best parking places, the most ideal shopping sprees, the least uncomfortable situation in situations that could be uncomfortable. That's another way that you can do an ideal scenario. Knowing the ideal scenario that'll take whatever this event meeting that could be uncomfortable might be and swift it around, shift it so that it'll be easy, graceful, and the best that it could possibly be, with the most achieved. Thank you. I am that. You see? There are so many ways we can use this incredible system. How do you know what you don't know? You don't. So the best thing to do is trust, like I did with the Egypt journey, and look what happened. So how do you know if the ideal scenario on your flight to Lima is for your plane to be delayed and for your flights to be rerouted, and then magically in Madrid you're upgraded free to first class for your whole big long international 12-hour flight? You see, getting upset around some pieces of a scenario that's playing out just throws water into your manifestation. And yes, the ideal scenarios formulation and part of the triggers will clear away whatever's stopping your creation energy from fueling the ideals by you getting all fussy. But, that's why the key to powerful manifestation is to stay focused on what you're choosing. So when you apply the ideal scenario triggers to fuel your choices for the ideal life scenario, it's important to know that your higher consciousness and soul and the Creator are doing everything possible to help you to form the reality that is the highest ideal based on the circumstances. You're not giving up your power and your privilege to decide and define, but if you have implemented an ideal scenario and you're focusing your creation energy to the ideal, then the best thing to do is to keep focusing on the ideal, because that's what keeps the gasoline dumping on the fire. So if something doesn't look quite like what you'd hoped it would in your wonderful ideal scenario description, wait a minute. Wait a day, a week. See how it unfolds. And when you look back on what has unfolded, many times you'll see the wisdom of your master intellect and your own consciousness. And in my case, you might wonder what the outcome might be if you had not implemented the ideal scenario system. Because many times in my life of directing and defining my realities, I ended up with many, many scenarios that were wonderful and some that were less than wonderful. And when I started using the ideal scenario system, a lot of different manifestations came about in different ways than maybe I thought I would have wanted them to. But they turned out to be the ideal. There are a lot of things in our life that we can't control, like what people think and what they say and what they may choose to do. And though those things might affect us, the true power in the ideal scenario system is for us to identify the things that we do have the ability to direct and hold as elements of our sovereign realm. And then we focus on those. As we master these new systems, we can empower ourselves by stacking the deck with possibilities that are the easiest to make happen. So we'll select opportunities to manifest the best possibility for success. And then we make them happen. And this helps us to build confidence in our manifesting abilities. It also reminds us of how infinitely possible it is for us to create exactly what we desire, and even more and better realities than we ever dreamed of. So make a list of those easy things to manifest first, and start checking them off your list, one by one, working your way through the opportunities. And as you learn the nuances of manifesting co-creatively with your conscious mind, constructive mind, and master intellect, you will gain such an incredible confidence. And it will become second nature for you to think, knowing the ideal scenario for blah, 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 I am that. It's so fast. It's so easy. And remember that the conscious mind, constructive mind, and master intellect are incorruptible elements of your master team, and they are there for you. And as you move your way down the list and you reach some more challenging desires of your heart, don't fight your way to success. Instead, light your way to success. Make light of everything. And the challenges in life will become exactly that, just a challenge to be overcome. And challenges can be overcome. And when you use the ideal scenario, anything can happen. And it's always the highest ideal possible. To that end, be open to changing gears and even changing directions, because what lays around the corner may be an even higher ideal than you ever imagined. Or sometimes that ideal might be the best that your original idea could have become. I hope that you'll play with these new tools and make them a part of your life by using them to hyperfuel your small and large manifestations. If I had more time, there's so much more I'd like to share with you, but there is a way to continue the lesson. Earlier in this segment of Change Your Mind, I offered you 3 months of free mentoring through several different programs that are available. These gift offerings are going to help you to take what you learned today and expand on it, so that you can lock in the principles of mindful manifesting into every aspect of your life. These programs are available to you when you register for them on my mailing list section of serenityvibrationhealing.com. When you fill in your contact information, also tick the box that says register to receive Jill Marie's free 3-month Change Your Mind mentoring program. If you're already on my mailing list and you'd like to participate in this mentoring program, email me at jillmarie@serenityministry.com, and I'll add you as a program registrant. It's free, it's fabulous. The programs you access are going to continue to help you shift your mindset to mindful manifesting. And while you're on my website, please browse the free podcast and telecast section and register for my YouTube channel so you can be the first to receive all of the wonderful programs coming down the pike, like the next segment of Change Your Mind. I hope you'll take a look at the New World Seminar Series and the calendar of classes that we have listed, and check out the practitioner and teacher listing while you're on my website. The SVH courses are easy to take on the phone or in person, and each level is a personal empowerment boon. You got to have this tool. SVH is a transformational personal empowerment tool that's easy to use, impossible to misuse or mess up, and its tools can help you to move into greater levels of sovereignty and harmony and prosperity. And my personal favorite, it will assist your evolution to higher consciousness. You'll love working with the hands-on and remote healing elements of this modality, and the sovereignty and clarity you achieve is priceless. Thank you for this opportunity to share the concepts of SVH. I've really enjoyed guiding you through the Ideal Scenarios method, and I know that it's going to help you to transform your life and to guide you into a new clarity that comes from changing your mind. Until our next segment of Change Your Mind, namaste.